about the moon and its mysteries and why witches, spiritualists, yogis, and all sorts of other spiritual practitioners connect with the moon? What does it all mean? Does it even matter? The moon is such a great tool for tracking time, being in our emotions, yes, being our emotions, and connecting with those emotions so we can feel, my friends. Hey everyone, it's Anya. Welcome to the season of Anya, where together we are building a fantastic little community here, if I may say so myself, full of witches, yogis, mystics, healers, empaths, and all sorts of other spiritual folks through connecting and just trying to unveil the mysteries of the life here on earth and the life beyond through understanding, connecting, and practicing the crafts of yoga, magic, and witchcraft. Oh yes, the moon. Witches love our moons. But why? Let's go ahead and take a look at the magic of the moon. For those of you who have been a part of this community for a while, you know I love working with the moon. But since this is a modern witchcraft for beginners series, we have to include moon magic on it. So with that said, I'm going to put a little bit of a different twist on it, a spin for beginners. If you haven't watched part 1 or part 2 of this series, go ahead and make sure you do so, just because I kind of am ranking these videos in significance of most important to least important, basic to most advanced. This is still a beginner series, but I want to set you all up for success so this journey can make sense to you. It's one thing for me just to tell you, hey, yeah, do this, do that, and you're just taking orders, but that's not what this spiritual practice is about. Especially when it comes to connecting with the moon, ooh, we are all up in our feels. This is really where the magic starts to happen over time. So you've got your book of shadows, you've got your altar all set up, looks all nice, you're kind of starting to dabble a little bit, but it's still not starting to flow. There needs to be some sort of consistency within your practice, some sort of accountability, if you will. That's where the moon cycles come into play. So look, unless you have literally no other social or work life obligations, this can get a little bit overwhelming fast. So we are here to keep it simple and easy for you, since this is a modern witchcraft for beginners series. So what are the basic moon cycles? And we've got the new moon, the start of the cycle. This is a great time for new beginnings, for cleansing, for resetting, for creation, for manifesting. Next, we have the waxing moon. Think of it as this: as the moon starts to wax, as it starts to shift into a full moon, what are we bringing on, right? It is a positive, it is growing. This is a great time to think about growth, fertility, strength, healing. We are bringing more of something to the table. We are welcoming something. This can also be a great time to manifest as well. Next, of course, we have the full moon, when it is glowing, beautiful, and bright. This is a great time for celebration, divination, for stepping into your power, for dancing, to set intentions. This is a great time to unwind, be merry, and happy. After the full moon, we have the waning moon. As the moon starts to shrink in size, it's a good time to remember what we want to banish from our lives, what we want less of, maybe bad habits. This is a time where we start to kind of get ready to implement a little bit of shadow work. Anytime is a good time for shadow work, but you get what I'm saying. This is very much a time for going inward. Death before rebirth. Think of it kind of like that. And then finally, for a night, maybe 2 tops, there is a period of the moon where it's actually completely dark. Not a sliver, not a glimmer of light, the dark moon. The best time for shadow work is definitely going to be the dark moon. This is the time for connecting with that dark energy, however you see fit. Whether it's banishing work, whether it's protection, curses, the dark moon really is the essence of that period of death before rebirth. That's why it is a great time for shadow work, a great time for banishing, a great time for curses. I don't really dabble in curses, but I will say this disclaimer. Your spiritual practice is your spiritual practice, and if it's in the name of justice, you do you. However, definitely want to wait at least a full 28-day, a full moon cycle before even thinking of putting any of that kind of energy in there, because sometimes we don't have all the information. Now, I know this was a lot of information, and believe it or not, there's actually a couple more moon cycles that I didn't really cover or go into much detail with, but honestly, this is a modern witchcraft series. We got stuff to do. We got a 9 to 5. We got work to do. Personally, I'd recommend showing up for the new moon. That way we can bring in some manifestation, some growth, some energy of what we want to bring to our lives, what we want to bring to the table, but also do show up for the dark moon as well from time to time. We need to face our shadows. We need to face ourselves in order to achieve our goals, in order to move forward in life, whether it's spiritually, physically, and really just in order to overcome obstacles. That's just twice a month that you're showing up for yourself. Cool. Now what? By the way, if you click the link down below, I do have a Moon Magic PDF that's printable and just a little easy reference guide that you can put in your Book of Shadows. Make sure you check that out. That way it's a lot easier than just listening to what I have to say. So cool, now I just threw a bunch of information at you and you really have no idea what to do. Anyone? Anyone? Keep watching. Now for the next part of Moon Magic, all you gotta do, get your butt outside and connect with the moon. What the hell? What does that mean? How do you connect with the moon? I actually have a little bit of that academic reference as to what the moon cycles are and what to do with them. Let's put a little magic into it. So for the next step, just get your ass out there and look at the moon when it's in the cycle of what you're choosing. What? Really? That's it? Yeah, that's it. Simply put, magic is emotion. And furthermore, creating magic is acting on that feeling. So we can't intellectualize everything. Go out there and just sit under the moon. Grab your journal, grab your Book of Shadows, and just journal. Yeah, I know, that's not as sexy as you probably thought this was gonna be, but we have to start somewhere. Now this video is definitely made in mind for the solitary practitioner. Honestly, we gotta start somewhere, and the magic of healing is in allowing ourselves the gift of feeling. Get yourself outside, grab your journal, grab your Book of Shadows, sit underneath the full moon, sit underneath the dark moon. Go outside, connect with nature, allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to be truly present. This isn't the time for having our phone accessible and checking our DMs and all that kind of stuff. No, this is the time to maybe just go on a walk. Maybe your moon magic is going on a walk with a partner or with your children and just finding something to celebrate. It doesn't have to be some ornate extravaganza. Of course, those are fun. Those are wonderful and those are beautiful moments. But let's be honest, in modern witchcraft, that's not practical all the time. Maybe you're just celebrating your 5-year-old's achievement or your husband's achievement at work. That is moon magic. It's allowing yourself to feel and celebrate and dive deep into that feeling. So often we intellectualize our emotions because we're afraid of them. Now I'm talking celebration, but let's keep it real. Light and dark. The reason why moon magic is magical is because we are working with the full moon, which is light energy, and the dark moon, which is dark energy. In turn, it creates balance. And that's how we begin the journey of flowing. That's how we begin the journey of learning how to connect with ourselves so we can connect with others. So in its simplicity, if we are using community and connection with others as an example, let's refer to the dark moon. Now's a great time to have a conversation maybe with your partner or significant other about something that really bothered you, for example. Or maybe there's something with you in your own spiritual development that is bothering you, shadow work. Simply having these connections, building growth, and fostering community is what this path is really, really about. Feeling is healing, my friends, and so many of us just know how to disassociate. We know how to go through the motions, but we don't know how to be truly present. That's moon magic, allowing ourselves to be present, to feel whatever we feel in that moment, and allow it to run through us, really. Allow it to pass through us. Allow us to feel it, have its time, and move on. That's the magic of the flow. It's by consistently showing up for ourselves and allowing us to connect with our souls. At least twice a month. It's not that hard. Witchcraft is a nature-based religion after all, so let's allow ourselves to feel the gifts of nature. And sometimes the gift of feeling, quite honestly, doesn't feel so good in the moment. But afterwards, we release, and that's why we work with the ebbs and flows of the moon. Starting to make sense? So many of us have been so disconnected from ourselves. We go to the screen to numb our emotions, and that is going to be the downfall of humanity. So easy to sit in life, go through the motions, and not actually feel yourself. And when you can't even feel your own self, how the heck are you supposed to feel others? I feel like RuPaul right now. Many of us who have chosen the path of witchcraft are highly empathic humans. Maybe it's due to the way we were raised, or maybe we just have certain spiritual gifts that haven't been nourished. What happens for many of us is that we disconnect slowly and surely. And once we disconnect, life has no purpose. Life has no meaning. We just go through the motions and we know how to act, but we don't know how to feel. Get our butts out there, show up twice a month, and allow ourselves. And yes, I know some of you might be like, well, where the hell are the spells? There's more magic than this. Yes, there is, but this is where it starts. I promise as the series progresses, I will get into moon spells and we get all of our little witchy goodness out of the way. But if we can't even feel, we can't manifest. We can't celebrate. We can't. No. Let's overcome obstacles. Let's allow ourselves to dive into our emotions so the journey can truly begin. Thank you all so much for your wonderful comments. Thank you so much for sharing with your witchy friends. This channel is growing. But really, thank you all so much for your support. I have another video coming up on the witch's magic with the K, so stay tuned for that. I know you're gonna love it, and thank you for subscribing to the season of Anya. So much love, so much healing, and I will catch you on the next one.